What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to JT's Mixtape. This is episode number 51. If you guys are enjoying these podcasts, please give me a 5-star review on either Apple or Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
Come closer, my child.
What's going on, y'all? This podcast is brought to you by Modern Roots Life. Modern Roots Life is a Christian-owned and operated company, and it's bringing real health back to its roots. They offer powerful, all-natural health supplements such as beef liver, cod liver oil, beef tallow, magnesium, and mineral-rich salts, all sourced the way God intended. Clean, simple, and from the earth. So whether you're looking to boost your energy, restore mineral balance, or just fuel your family with real nourishment, Modern Roots Life has got you covered. Guys, in this community, we're trying to get healthy in our mind, in our body, and our spirit. So don't neglect your health. If you want more information, check out modernrootslife.com and check the link in my description. You know, people often ask me how they can support me. Well, I think it's pretty cool if you can support me by supporting the people who support me, and you get something in return. And being healthy is a pretty good return. What's going on, fellas? Once again, I'm your host, JT. I've got Tune Thy Heart and Demon Racers here today. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, y'all?
Nothing new that I've noticed today. My stuff went viral, actually, on X.
What stuff
One of
went
my
viral?
video, my milk video went viral on X.
On the X?
On somebody else's account, again. I don't, my videos always go viral on other people's accounts.
That's how it works on X. Yeah, if you guys are not aware, Brian has a very interesting milk video, and maybe I'll insert that here.
I don't usually make these kind of videos, but this is such a good hack. I would be amiss not to share this with the world, because this hack will make your milk like taste twice as good and almost like never go bad, and it will last like twice as long. So anyways, it's a really good, simple hack. I'm gonna show you how to do it real quick. So what you wanna do is you wanna get yourself some organic milk, okay? Organic milk is probably the best. I mean, what we really want is raw, but raw is like super expensive and hard to come by and hard to get. And but organic works really well. So you wanna get organic, and then you can get some organic half and half, or you can get even organic heavy whipping cream. This will work as well. Last time I gave some wrong information, but I just wanted to correct that information because it's very important to know. And so, yeah, you want to get the heavy whipping cream. This will work the same. It's almost like, one of these will almost do 2 whole half gallons as well. It depends on how creamy you want it. I do like a full one of these for a whole half gallon, but I'm crazy sometimes. And so anyways, this will do like 2 whole half gallons. So you want to split this in half and add it to your milk. Okay. Because what these do is there's fats and stuff inside of the half and half that actually preserve what's in the milk. And so it makes the milk last longer. Like I've never had milk go bad since I've been doing this. Like it lasts so much longer. And so basically you just pour this half of it in there. And so got to pour some of it out, obviously, and then use it. But once you pour it out and use it, then you can see that it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that it will last significantly longer. It'll taste way better. Like you'll know right away when you add it to it. You'll be like, why have I not been drinking my milk this way this entire time? Because when you realize that, you're like, oh shoot, like I've been missing like major information in my life. Raw milk, I don't know if you know this, it actually really never goes bad. It kind of like turns into like a yogurt thing, and it lasts so much longer. And that's because of the natural bacteria in it that get killed off through the process that they do of pasteurization, which is pretty terrible actually, but whatever. So if you do this though, it will restore some of those fats that were put into the milk. And those fats will help your milk to be preserved and last longer. So just get yourself some organic half and half, organic heavy cream, add it to your milk, and your milk will taste so much better. And again, it'll last so much longer. Anyways, guys, hope that helps.
Brian, why don't you tell us about the genesis of you deciding to do a very sickly edited video where you tried to have maybe some subliminal messages in your videos? Was that magic you did on people?
I mean, all the Jews they were putting subliminal messages in. I figured I'd just do the same thing, you know? So it just kind of got popular.
Have you seen his video, Aaron?
Yeah, I did. It's hilarious.
But
it's
working out. There's other people who are making my videos just like it now. It's hilarious. There's like all these other people are making videos that are like printing out the data because like, you know, the algorithm, I figured it's just going to catch the words, but it's not fully set up to catch the words in the picture yet. So I just printed them out and then gave the information that way. We're great.
For now. I mean, if they ban the juice box, Brian, and then they're probably going to catch on to the milk. Maybe that's
they might catch on to the milk.
Are we going to have to change the juice box to a milk carton?
That might be what the new, that might be the new thing. Who knows?
The milk. So what's been coming across y'all's feed this week? It was funny because I scrolled endlessly today to try to find new videos. I've got a lot of videos, but I haven't really come up with like a theme for today. And maybe that's a good thing because I know that people like the randomness in the shows. But I've just kind of got a smorgasbord of just everything. Is anything, guys, that you guys have seen?
Mine has been filled with lots of Sora videos.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. What I've seen today was Taylor Swift's new album is trash. Not that the other ones weren't trash, but I think that even the Swifties are turning on their queen, Taylor.
It's about time.
Have you heard anything about this, Brian?
I saw her in my feed and I was like, why is Taylor? She like popped up twice and I'm like, why does Taylor Swift keep popping up in my feed? They're like, she's in an interview or something.
Well, yeah, she's got this new album out. I think it's called Showgirls.
I got to say something. There was a girl that I saw that one of her songs was a total copy of.
I was just about to say that she, like Taylor Swift, at least I saw probably like 4 or 5 of the songs on there that they're playing them with likely the song that was
the original
was stolen from. Yeah, they stole this riff or this beat from these songs, and also the lyrics are juvenile and ridiculous.
Bro, there was that girl, some girl I saw, and she was like, plays it when her dad comes in the car, and she's like, hey, Dad, I want you to listen to this song. And he plays it, and he's like, oh. He's like, wait, that's your song. He's like, no, that's Taylor Swift's song that just came out. He's like, when? He's like, today. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she only had like, I want to say like 80,000 followers or something. She wasn't super popular.
Yeah,
and
she
like
ripped the Pixies, Jonas Brothers, like a bunch of bands.
Yeah. What was it? You know, it's just funny because just so happened I was just kind of going down a random rabbit hole, or not even really a rabbit hole. I was just kind of watching some videos, and it was this interview from Billy Corgan, and Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. He claims everyone's ripped him off. Like he's had like famous lawsuits. I think he sued Collective Soul, saying that their famous song, what was it? Is it Shine? The real big, like their first really big hit. He was claiming they ripped him off. They produced a demo that their song was actually older than anything he had made, but many other bands. And if you think about like the little bit of similarity, and he's claiming these people literally stole from him. And then if you compare that to these people comparing Taylor Swift's new songs to the original songs, I mean, oh my gosh, Billy Corgan be having a seizure listening to that as he reaches for the phone to call his lawyer.
Yeah, it's very blatantly obvious. A lot of her songs are ripped off. But I mean, you know, how original can these demons be? I mean, the demons are writing the songs for her. I mean, they're just pulling from their old database.
Exactly.
I mean,
They
it's like there's only so
everything.
many sounds.
Yeah, but at the same time, she doesn't seem like somebody that would have to do that. It seems kind of strange that, because as much attention as her album's going to get, whether positive or negative, I mean, the degree of similarities between these songs, they had to know that people would make that connection.
The only thing I can say about that industry as a whole, the music industry especially, but like pretty much all entertainment, they don't do anything haphazardly, especially at her level. Like, it's all calculated. It's like they know exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. And there's like future reasons even as to why they're doing what they're doing that we don't even know about yet. We won't know about for a year, 2 years, maybe 5 to 10 years. So it's they knew people would put the pieces together. They knew there would be controversy. They knew that people would have, all of these things to say about it, and they released it anyways. So the question is, why are they wanting us to talk about this, right? Like,
Got an answer, but keep going.
no, I'm done.
I think it's because it's creating more of a divide between the people that are conspiracy theorists, and regular people. Because what's going to happen is, because she's so popular, all these people are going to be like, she ripped this person off. She ripped this person off. And people are going to listen, that's not exactly it. And then it's going to be like, dude, you're just a crazy, you're like noticing, you think everything's conspiracy at this point. So it's actually going to engineer a greater division between the people that are noticing things, that are ripping off pattern stealing and all this evil stuff, right? Versus the people that are like okay with the programming and just go, yeah, but the song's good anyway, so who cares? I mean, she's that big. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem, though. They're not saying the song's good. It's like
It didn't work as well as they thought.
They're bad versions of the original ones with no creativity, and the lyrics are just, again, they're juvenile. Some of the lyrics, if, again, you guys can look this up on your own, but they're almost like the vulgarity of like a rap song, but it's Taylor Swift singing it. And I actually did see some guy like doing like a rapper voice, and it was like, hey, that actually kind of fits. But when it's Taylor Swift singing it does not fit. It's absolutely cringe. But I want to ask you, Aaron, I can't remember the movie, and I've only seen the clips probably on social media, but it was like an Andrew Garfield movie. The guy who played Spider-Man.
Yeah. Under the Silver Lake.
Oh, yeah. So he's going into some kind of like somebody's penthouse or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's sitting at a piano, and this guy's basically declaring to him that every famous song you've ever heard, I've wrote it.
Yeah, so there's a theory that there is like one person that's written all of the hits, like all of the biggest hits, everything that's come out for the last few decades that's been a major hit, regardless of genre, regardless of style of music. Every single ballad, every single single, every single thing that's been in the Billboard Top 100 that's played some kind of a vital role in everyone's childhoods, everyone's upbringing, everyone's, pivotal moments, their romances, their tragedies, all of that. And there are a couple of theories as to like who they are as a person, but I think it's more symbolic than that, because I believe that every single thing that has been written has been channeled by the demonic. And I think that all of those hits came from Lucifer himself, if I'm being honest.
Is that a good movie, by the way? Is that worth watching?
Well, so that's a tough question to answer. It's fascinating. It's very fascinating. Like it goes very, 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 very deep in the rabbit hole. I mean, I'm talking like underground bunkers. I'm talking codes. I'm talking like he follows groups of people that like are part of like secret societies, and they like go to certain places at certain times to see like signs show up like on a baseball sign in a field, and then they use that and they've got to decode it, and that sends them to like a specific area. And
wow.
They go to
this
like
is in the movie?
Yeah, they go to like these underground concerts like that no one really knows about. And
I'm in.
but I will say like it is like I personally don't feel good recommending it to anybody that gets stumbled easily, or that gets because there's a lot of language. There's a lot of language, and it's dark. It's got a very dark feeling and a very dark vibe. It's rated R, and it's intense in a lot of ways. So I can't exactly recommend it to everybody, but I will say it's been a few years since I've seen it, and I saw it a few times. It exposes a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
So there's this dude, Max Martin. Have you heard of him? He's like the Swedish dude who does write like 80% of the popular songs today. You know who that is, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
Oh yeah, Max Martin. I think that's the dude. Yeah, he's Swedish. Look him up.
I'm gonna go to Wiki, see what it says. The songs.
I've been out of the industry for a while now, so like I don't keep up on like a lot of things don't change.
Mm-hmm.
But I've intentionally like made a separation.
So he's got some Backstreet Boys stuff. Looks like he's wrote a bunch of Backstreet Boys stuff.
Yes, Max Martin, songwriter and producer. Max Martin is known for writing many of the most popular songs of the last 30 years, including Britney Spears,
Yeah, Baby One More Time,
Katy Perry,
Bon Jovi.
Weekends,
Wow, Bon Jovi, It's My Life.
Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, NSYNC.
And yeah, this dude's written them all. He's Swedish too.
Def Leppard, Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah. The dude's
Yeah, Pink,
channeler.
Pink.
So
yeah, there's a lot of Katy Perry, Cyndi Lauper,
so this is what we call a ghostwriter, right? In movies.
Carrie Underwood, Kesha, Usher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like this list is long. Avril Lavigne.
Bro, it
Maroon
keeps
5.
going, dude.
Yeah, dude, look at all this
dude,
stuff.
you're only in 2012, bro. That's 2013.
You guys heard of
Pitbull.
Donald Marshall?
Who?
Donald
this.
Marshall? Donald
Another similar
Marshall.
guy?
Yeah, Donald
Adele?
Marshall is another guy. If you look him up, he claims to have written a lot of these songs. He came out like
Does he claim to, or does he
Oh,
actually?
look.
Because this guy writes them.
2017. Look at all these Taylor Swift songs.
So
Oh,
if you look up Donald Marshall is the guy that came out talking about deep underground stuff. He talked about the reptilians. He talked about being in the cloning facilities.
So he's claiming that he wrote the songs and they stole them from him.
Basically, he's
Got
saying
it.
that like in order to stay alive in that underground realm, in order to stay alive, like to serve a purpose, like like his gift was songwriting.
Okay.
So like he would write songs and make music, and so allegedly a lot of the songs came from him. This is allegedly, but you can look it up. There's a ton of stuff on Donald Marshall. He's the one that talked about witnessing the whole like reptilian proboscis thing, that little worm that crawls into people's eyes and literally takes over their brain. It's a
Wait, what is
this
that?
sounds really suspicious to me. This guy's
Donald-
his story.
Donald Marshall. So you have to look into it. Like there's
Yeah,
a
okay.
whole bunch of videos of him explaining all of this stuff. But like what's crazy is like, yeah, the stuff sounds very far-fetched, but everything that he talks about lends itself to like 20 other conspiracies that don't have a lot of answers. And he gives a lot of answers to there's a lot of missing puzzle pieces to a lot of conspiracies, and the things that he talks about is like the missing puzzle pieces to a lot of those things.
See that there's another one of those people that does it is that guy that says he rips the throat out with his teeth. What's that guy?
But that's Nathan Reynolds.
Yeah, he does the same thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
these people
I'm not sure
are
about that, dude.
liars. A lot of times that I've noticed, they have a lying spirit on them. Same thing as
I
that
agree
other
with that.
girl. That one girl that's very popular. She claimed to be Tupac's daughter, and then she says there was tunnels under there where they were like taking advantage of children and being trafficked underneath the museum in L.A. the Getty, and she says there was tunnels under there, and there was lizard people. And there's these people that come up that talk about these stories with lizard people, and they're very fantastical, all of them. And they do have a lot of like theories plugged together with all this stuff. Well, here's my theory. These people are plants to distract you from the truth. They give you feeded knowledge, and it's maybe some of the stuff is, it all plugs together and makes sense because it was written by a demon. The demon wrote the narrative that is possessing these people to lie. I don't know this guy, but I've heard, and I've dealt with people that have been a part of one of these kind of like lying situations, and I've met the demon that talks through these people directly. I've met him and found out that he's a lying demon designed to deceive Christians into believing fairy tales. And so, I've met him. Like I at this point, I'm like, anytime they start talking about it, I'm a little bit like.
So are you saying you don't believe in the reptilians?
Just a little bit sus when I've met the demons that talk about it. You know what I mean? Like the demons want you to believe in the reptilians because then you don't focus on the truth of what they are. Because if you know what they are, it's way more deceitful. It's way more deceitful.
Yeah, but what about
What was
about
the serpent in the garden? Right?
Demon.
'Cause
He was reptile. But what about this one?
But he was a reptile, literally.
This old LA Times article about did strange people live under the site of Los Angeles 5,000 years ago? And it's literally about lizard people living under LA.
Yeah, the demons like people they want them to think about the lizard people, I think. The demons want to be focused on physicality.
That's a real thing that they wrote about that in the LA Times
Well,
way back in like the 20s.
I think there was at one point animal humanistic hybrid people, right? And I think that those people were Gentiles, and I think they were Nephilimized, animalized bloodlines. In fact, there's remnants
I think
of
that
these
Gentile stuff is propaganda, Brian.
Say what?
From people with the little hats saying that the Gentiles were not humans.
That's the thing. There is a lot of people, and that's why I show people like a lot of those genetic deformity things, because like,
yeah, but
when
to say they're all
those,
Gentiles, it's like the people who are not.
I think there's plenty of evidence to support that reptilians are real, and I think I think that it would be very foolish for us to think that we're the smartest species here on Earth.
He's a real child, and you can look at his channel. You can look his channel up. That's what he looks like. So, I mean, he's talking about, people making fun of the way he looks, and you can look up his other videos he does. And when you see it, it's pretty shocking to see this kid at first, but this is what a Gentile was originally. This is what these were. They were descended children that had they were people that had genetic deformities. And so there's a lot of this kind of stuff. There's still remnants of this stuff left over. They're not just one-offs. They used to be very prominent, and that's why we see them in the drawings. That's what those were. And so
what are you getting at though? Are you saying that like that's what people think reptilians are? Is people like that with deformities?
I think there was people that were like that at one point that were probably hybridized, animalistic looking, reptilian looking different. Deformed individuals.
The thing with the story in the garden is it very specifically says that he was a reptile, and then it immediately after, because if you think about it, he didn't cast him to lay on his belly without arms and legs until after. He was cursed to crawl the ground as a snake. He didn't start out as a snake. So if he was, but he didn't turn into a reptile. Is what I'm saying. He
could have just been dragon-like, maybe.
So what I'm saying is that like. That would go hand in hand with the reptilian theory of reptilians existing and the possibility of them being able to, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they actually shapeshift or if they can bend light, but the reality of it is, I mean, you have to remember we can see less than 0.1% of the visible light spectrum.
Yeah.
So any species that is intelligent, and anything that is an intelligent species that can see more than us could manipulate everything that we see.
I can't remember what I saw the one time, but it was talking about how that it's possible that certain beings vibrated at a different frequency as us. So yeah, we don't see things that are not in the same kind of vibrational range as we are.
Totally. I know. I've talked to people that I trust that I know don't tell fairy tales, and they've seen things that like could get them killed for going public talking about. And they've seen it take place like in and around like groups of people that they know, like in studios and in different places. And it's like, and I'm sure some of us have heard different stories, but these people don't lie about that stuff, and they're not saying it to get us to like them more or to, they don't want us talking about it. Like the people that have shared this stuff are like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like they're scared to even discuss it, because of their understanding of this stuff and the way that they explain it all. I think it's highly not only possible but probable, and I think it would make complete sense that there is a species of, and plus there's like a bunch of stuff in history. Like, have you guys seen those statues? I don't know if they're in Poland.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but there's the lizard people too. There's a lot of different stuff like that in Mexico and all kinds of things. But here's what I would say is, like, in the spiritual realm, from what I've dealt with and what I've experienced, so this is from what I've experienced, I've tried to film a lot of stuff. I've seen people's eyes go black. I've seen people's eyes go white. I've seen people become super strong. I've seen a girl pick up a chair like with one hand, just like one hand lifted it up, didn't even bend, and went whoom and threw it across the room and it exploded. Bro, twice. She picked up one chair, picked up another one, and threw it the other direction. Bro, I've seen stuff. I've seen someone come up off the ground. Okay, I've seen things that I don't even bother explaining all the stuff I've seen at this point because people would just think it sounds crazy.
No,
I'm already on the crazy spectrum with the stuff I talk about, so I'm like, whatever, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Like and I've got video of some of this stuff that I've filmed, and I've tried to film it, but it's really difficult to try to film these things because when it happens, it won't come up on video. So a lot of these people that are ghost hunters, it's bullcrap. Okay, I know it's bullcrap because I've tried to film a demon talking several times. I've tried to film this. I've bought multiple recorders, set up multiple cameras, and when the person will black out and the demon will come to and their eyes go black or their eyes go white or whatever situation it happens, and their face will change. I've seen their face, their muscles go whoosh and like move in their face. And I've seen this stuff with my own eyes. And I've witnessed it and I saw it happen. But when I tried to film it, the cameras would just cut out, or the audio would just not work, or it would just record but it'd be black. And when the demon talks to the person, you'll hear everybody's audio in the room, but when the demon talks, you won't hear it. And
they're able to manipulate the frequency.
I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know what's going on. I know you can't film demons. I've come to the conclusion you can't record them, you can't film them. And if you do see someone filming something demonic, it's like there's like a 50% chance that that's probably fake. There's like it's like a pretty good chance, like I would say that that's not legit because I've tried to film them and at this point I've given up. Like I can't film them. You can see some of the reactions, you can film people's reactions, but for the most part, trying to film demon stuff, like it don't work. And
and that's one of the reasons they've changed the technology too for camcorders and filming, right? Like that's one of the reasons. No, I'm saying like that is because there's a lot of stuff you could do with the older tech, like the camcorders that were like in the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, versus like us filming with our phones and the other things that we can film with now. There's a lot of technology that was capable of more back then.
It's bent off of light. You know, a lot of this stuff is based off of light, and they are spirits, which are an energy, which is some form of light. And so here's what I've come to the conclusion is that
their master is the prince of the powers of the air.
Exactly. The airwaves. And so when I've come to this understanding is that when people see these supernatural experiences, they're not actually seeing them in this physical spectrum. So what they're seeing is so what they're seeing is like a hallucination or a peering into the spiritual realm. So I've got a video clip of one of these people that I was praying for, and you see her like fully manifest the demon. And her mouth says, "I'm going to kill you." But the audio, you can hear everything else. She's like screaming. And then when she looks at me, she's like, and the audio doesn't speak. You can hear everybody else talking, but her mouth isn't moving. But everyone in the room heard, "I'm going to kill you." Like it heard the spirit speaking out of her mouth, but the audio didn't pick up any audio on the camera. And I'm like, this is like nuts. But you'll see her mouth going like, and you see the demon speaking
stuff.
So what I've realized is when we're seeing spiritual things like this, you're not actually seeing them. What's happening is your spirit is recognizing something in the spiritual realm. It's happening in your mind in a sense, because everyone in the room heard her say that thing, but the physical camera didn't catch it. Do you see what I'm saying? So like what's happening is, so when people are in a room and they see someone look reptilian or turn, it's not a physical reptilian. It is a spiritual reptilian. It is something spiritual that I think that they're looking at. And that's just my bias from dealing with this personally and seeing what demons are capable of and witnessing it myself. Like I've talked to people that have been a part of this, and I've spoken to the demons through the people that have admitted to me that they're liars. And I've seen the distortion that the demons are capable of and what they want people to think. They want you to think that they're physical. Demons love to think. They want people to think they have power in the physical. They have zero power in the physical. They're so weak in the physical. The space where demon has control is in the mind. It's in the spiritual realm. And so they want to trick you into thinking that there's power, but that's all they can do is like make little footsteps in a room. They get you to give up your power by agreeing with them, and then suddenly they have some little glimpse of power in the physical. And that's what their whole MO is. Like their whole operation idea is to trick you into believing enough things about them where they can have authority in the physical, because they're not physical beings. And so You know, and even if there was physical ones, guess what? I know in the authority of Christ, in the name of Jesus, bow your knee, demon. If I saw some lizard thing, I would say, shut your mouth and bow your knee. And it would obey me, just like the demons do. I tell demons what to do. And I would say, kneel now, in the name of Jesus, kneel. And the thing would be like, ah! So like, I'm not, you know, if I saw Bigfoot, I'd do the same thing. I'd be like, Bigfoot, bow your knee now, in the name of Jesus. Because I know the 72 went out, and they came back and said, Lord, Lord, even the demons obey us.
Okay, let's play some videos.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, I got a video.
Transition.
That goes with
What
that.
a transition.
It goes right along with that. Here you go.
God was real.
Yep, that's a fitting video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Venom. Venom looks pretty reptile-like, wouldn't you say? So, I mean, it's kind of like whether you can record them physically. There's a lot of encounters like that where people say they do.
It's really interesting because he notices as his face changes, kind of like Venom, it like morphs. Bro, I've seen this, but I've seen it in people that aren't reptilian. I've seen this in people that don't mean to be this happening, you know, and so it's the demon that's in them that's projecting itself over that person. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's what Venom is.
Yeah.
That's the Venom is the demon. Kind of reminds
It's like
me
an
of that
Agent Smith thing.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because the old music video by Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun. You know, I'm sure you talked about that, Aaron, around the eclipse, because that weird video, and it definitely had all of those kind of vibes about this black hole sun, this eclipse happening. And it was like in the music video, it's like this kind of,
right?
Yeah, this kind of astronomical sign revealed people to have like demon faces and stuff. And that phenomenon was all in the news about how they were even trying to call it some kind of psychological condition where people would see demon faces.
They literally called it demon face, and it was on the actual news. And they said, if you see this, it's a psychological condition.
Totally normal.
Yeah,
Don't worry, there's a drug.
Can
for
you believe that was
We'll take
actually in
care
our
of it.
news?
So there's another movie that does it. It's or another music video, Evanescence. She has a music video where all the people in the crowd just start turning into demon faces. Do you remember Evanescence?
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm not sure about that video.
Yeah, and
I don't know about the video either.
Yeah, Evanescence used to be Christian. She came out as a Christian singer, their band, and then she publicly went on like SNL or some big platform, and they asked her, "Are you a Christian band?" And she publicly denounced God, and then her whole platform went blew up, and they took her out of all the Christian stores.
Like
I remember
Katy Perry.
when her
And then I
when she was
sold
in all the
my
Christian
soul.
stores.
I couldn't be Amy Grant, so now I'm just going to be Madonna.
One of my friends was her original drummer, actually.
Really, before
in
she was,
Evanescence.
Like
Before-
right when they were recording their first album.
so did he?
Wow.
He left right when she was no longer when she denounced God, or what?
So it's actually kind of a crazy story, and I don't know how much of it I'm able to tell, but he was actually in the studio, or not in the studio. He was in school to become a producer. He went to a place called the Conservatory, and he was about to finish, and they got the call, like, we're going to LA to record. And he's like, I'm about to graduate. And they're like, well, we're going out there to record. And so if you notice, that's why that whole record has very generic drums. Like, the drums are they're like, I'm not saying they're bad, but like, they hired a guy to be the drummer for the studio album. And they're very just cliche generic drums, because the guy that was their original drummer was phenomenal. It was it was on a totally different level. But yeah, I've heard the tapes, I've heard the demos when he was on them, but he basically got left in the sand because he couldn't make it out to LA and wasn't willing to give up his whole degree for it.
Bro, here's the crazy part. Like, when you become famous, all the famous people become famous, they have a point at which they're offered an opportunity, and that opportunity requires you to stab someone in the back. And so your friend that you're talking about might have been part of that backstabbing. And so, like,
he definitely got stabbed in the back.
that's how it always works. Like, all the people that I know that are celebrities that have gone through this, they were before they became famous, there was a moment where they were told, here's an opportunity, take this opportunity, you can stab this guy, you got to stab this other person in the back, or kill this person, or whatever. I mean, like, later down the line it becomes kill the person, but originally it's just like betray someone, and that's usually how the people will get famous. So almost every famous person you know right now, right at the pinnacle of their moment, pulled some kind of stunt where they utterly betrayed someone. Almost every single one of them.
I've been stabbed in the back about 4 times.
Well, you remember that story about Lady Gaga, who she was coming up around the same time as this other artist, and the other artist had all the costumes and all the theatrics, and then she fell off a tall building, and then Lady Gaga eventually made a music video about that, and she did I want to say she did some kind of famous performance where she was like looking like she was falling and stuff.
Those sacrifices and stuff that they make, like they can't, basically like the other person got themselves into that situation, right? Like they were made, like promises were made to that person. Like that girl, for instance, like promises were made to her. She wanted the stardom. And so she accepted a deal. She came to a crossroads and she made a deal, and it was a bad deal, and she paid with her life. And so the key to all of that is to not make any deals whatsoever.
Right, especially with the devil.
Of any kind for anybody. Like you're better off just giving up your dream and doing your thing independently and staying alive than reaching any levels. But of course, as we know, as you get closer to Jesus, ultimately it's less of us and more of him anyways. And
yeah, amen. So what's interesting though is that what that one guy was saying, the rapper who was taken up to the mountain in LA or wherever they were at, and he was mentioning you got to do some gay stuff. You either got to get pegged or you got to do whatever else. And that, again, that transition is nicely into Bad Bunny.
I don't know if anything transitions nicely from that.
Well, I mean, would anybody be surprised if that's what he did to get famous?
I think it's safe to say that that's exactly what he did to get famous, and probably gladly.
De todo, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar. And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn.
How about that? So this guy just told us, all us Americans who speak English and are not bilingual, we have 4 months to learn Spanish before the Super Bowl.
I don't even know how to feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely...
talk about like just sticking your thumb in people's eye, right?
Feels cryptic.
But it does feel cryptic. And I am actually, like, did you run that through AI to get a translation? Because I would love to know what he actually said there. I need to know if I need to rebuke it.
We'll have to do that.
We need to rebuke it. Yeah, in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if just to be safe, we rebuke whatever he just said in the name of Jesus.
At the very least, it's like that he's got this kind of PC, kind of anti-Trump, border wall, whatever, Trump immigration status or whatever. And then so he's trying to say that we can't enjoy his show unless or know the other language that he speaks. The ironic part about that is people are trying to act like this is some kind of woke thing. Like Spanish is not a colonized language. You know what I mean? Like that white Europeans were Spanish and they came over and they changed the language of the indigenous people in the lower parts of America. So we got to learn this other colonized language. English is not good enough. But again, these people are completely historically illiterate.
Well, I think the Jews' agenda is to erase the white race, right? So,
some people have purported that idea that could be true, and I would say that there's evidence of that.
On that
probably
note,
controlled the Super Bowl.
So anyway, check this out. This is an interesting video. This kind of follows up with some of the stuff we just talked about.
I don't know about nobody else, but I can tell you, we know we was doing with 666. Hey, we exactly knew what it meant. We got people comfortable with his name, and we made sure we made songs violent. Very, very violent. Sometimes we used to try to come up with stuff to hypnotize people, like repeated of 666, back-to-back 666. Why got a bass line, you shaking your head, you high, Metallica and all that. That's what I brought in the group. The diversity of like, hey, why don't we just put some of this rock shit over a hard-ass rap track. I even had the satanic books, the little warlock materials, every warlock got to have a dagger, cut the little point stars, whatever, little candles and shit. I had all that. I was into all that. So some folks were scared of it and left, put it like that. But me, I meant what I was saying. I definitely meant it. I said, so God, you're gonna play like that, huh? Well, I got you. I'm gonna make black folks comfortable with 666. Back then, black folks was like scared of this shit. You know, they wasn't too much on it. You know, then they start listening to it and go to church. They say they Christians, but they bumping 666. You get what I'm saying? So my job was out of anger to make black people get comfortable with their name. And I was very intelligent with it because I read a lot about it. I read a lot and I put all that into the music and the energy. You get what I'm saying? Because how you get Satan's name going, you get the kids to liking it. Now today, see, I think we was one of the first people to break it like that. You would think 666 would have been a rock and roll band. So I think I was used by Satan, and I think he's a bitch.
Well, I agree with the last thing he said.
It was used by Satan.
Yeah, but so check that out. I mean, that's one of those things where when you're really naive to this stuff, you don't even think anything of their name being 3-6 Mafia.
I thought that the first time I heard it.
Well, I know,
like,
but I mean,
"That's
maybe
not
you,
good."
but of course you're kind of more into that. But I'm just saying, like, I've heard that name, I don't know how many times until it was like probably before until I started doing this. Maybe because I never listened to them and I didn't care and I wasn't looking for code. But it is almost like one of those 3-6 Mafia. Like, what else does that mean? And I think most people probably are like, oh my gosh, but yeah, you just see how just honest he is about that. He was getting people comfortable with the 666s. He was getting people to listen to it on their way to church. And the best way to get people comfortable with Satan is to try to influence the kids.
Well, dude, it's like Lil Uzi when that Travis Scott Astro World concert or whatever in Texas happened. Lil Uzi was on the stage. You remember that, right? That huge tragedy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lil Uzi was on the stage and he was telling everybody, he was like, "You're all going to hell with us."
Yeah, well, yeah.
You listen to it all. You're singing the words. You're coming right along with us. And dude, it's like that's the whole point. And this goes back to, we talked a few weeks ago about that movie K-pop Demon Hunters. That was the whole point of the boy band that was serving the devil. They were like, we're going to make music, we're going to put people in a trance, and we're going to capture souls for you. Because they thought if they captured enough souls for the devil that they could be released and they could have their lives back. But they did it through the music. And they showed how the sound waves were taking over entire territories, and it was lulling people to sleep. And then the devil's demons were like grasping over people and like sucking their energy out of them. And I'm telling you, that's literally how it works. That's why I took my headphones off when that video was playing just now, because they had the music, the 3-6 Mafia music playing in the background. And I refuse to allow that stuff to go into my subconscious brain. That's why I don't even listen to most music anymore, because it's like, it will put you, you don't have to be a willing participant. That's the thing. Like, just by you allowing that music into your ear holes, it screws with you. It messes with you. It opens up doorways, and it does. And yeah, there's protection there. I'm sure Brian would agree with me. Like, the Holy Spirit's going to protect his children, and there's grace for people that don't know better. But when you do know better and then you willingly listen to that, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
so
especially
you got to be so careful.
Especially after you heard him just say that. I think what's interesting too is that I remember growing up, and then you had, I'm not even sure who like kind of the first really rappers you heard, but they, I don't know, think like, was it the Sugar Hill Gang and all that stuff? And then you have people coming up, and then you have like Will Smith back in the day. But MC Hammer, you had, what was the other one? MC
Vanilla Ice,
Young MC. And then all of a sudden it
Run
shifted.
DMC.
Yeah. Then it shifts in like kind of the early 90s with NWA, and then it becomes gangster rap. So then obviously it's really dark and evil in a different kind of way.
New World
But then
Order.
later you start to get into like the 3-6 Mafia, where he's saying like that they probably were one of the most overtly satanic rap groups. But now all the rappers seem like that they're all just super satanic now. It's weird. And he was even saying how black people didn't used to get down with that. Probably because lots of black people in America grew up with Christian parents, Christian grandmas, and they knew like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like that it's one thing to make idols of money and all the things that the rappers are throwing down, the $100 bills and all that stuff. And you can see how that's maybe more alluring. But like when you see the previous video, the first video we showed about this guy saying how they're openly saying that they're going to do rituals. And he mentions people like Leonardo DiCaprio. And then he's saying you have to do gay stuff. And then it's all revolves around demons and demonic stuff. And yeah, like that's how you get the 3-seater McLaren and all that stuff. Like if that's what you want, you can get it through this.
That's the price. Did you see the videos? Like there are videos out there of Tupac before Hollywood got a hold of him. Have you seen them?
We played that where he's like
He's super
he's
gay.
got a little sugar.
He's
Got a little sugar in his tank.
Absolutely, dude. That was the real him before they got a hold of him. The industry turned him into what they needed him to be.
He was a twink.
Yeah, dude, they turned him into what they needed him to be for that whole industry. But yeah,
he was an
it's-
actor.
dude,
He was definitely an actor. Like
he
that's
was an
what
actor.
He was.
He's
He was an actor.
for sure.
Well, even was it Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre, if you've seen like his early albums or whatever, when the first time he's wearing guy liner and he's wearing like it's like the disco era.
Well, the rumors of Dre being gay, dude, have been circulated since the way back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, then
But
because he went from disco stuff to then putting on his white Sox hat and his Raiders stuff, and he's wearing all black and he's bumping around, hitting the switches, hanging out with Snoop Dogg. I guess Snoop Dogg was probably actually gangster because he literally was involved in a drive-by shooting.
No, from what I
that.
understand, Snoop was always an actual gangbanger.
Yeah, he was a
literally.
gangster, and Suge Knight was a gangster. That those guys were.
Did you ever see the video? There was a video. I watched this whole. I can't find it anymore. I saw it a long time ago. There was a video. Somebody put together like this amazing expose on Tupac and his timeline, and he kept like pushing against the system. He kept pushing back against his controllers, and he kept like saying things he wasn't supposed to say. He kept like biting the hand that feeds him, so to speak. There was one last time that he did it right before what happened to him, and it was live, and he started rambling and talking about society and like basically again biting the hand that feeds him. You can see him as he's talking crap about his masters. Snoop Dogg's right next to him, and he looks at him like, "What are you doing, dude? You know what they're gonna do to you. If you talk like this, like you've been warned, like that's your last. You can literally see in Snoop's eyes, he's looking at a dead man. And it was like one of the last times he ever said anything publicly before.
Yeah.
he
I
was
think
taken
Brian
out.
still thinks he's alive, but I think that he was sacrificed. I think it makes a lot of sense
who knows?
that you have him and Biggie going out at the same time, where it's like that it gave credibility that these guys actually were gangsters. You know,
Yeah.
those two guys were not gangsters, but they were
gay
involved.
They turned into him though.
gangsters.
They were gay,
gangsters.
GAYNGS, gay.
Yeah, well, they were involved with some gangsters though, because obviously it seems like Suge Knight was about that life.
Suge Knight was for sure.
You mentioned Vanilla Ice. There was a famous story, and whether it's true or not, was that Suge Knight hung Vanilla Ice outside of a balcony and got him to sign over the rights to Ice Ice Baby.
Vanilla Ice tells that story. He tells that
that's
story
what I'm
himself.
saying. Like, yeah, he was like hung out over a balcony. He was going to drop him.
Yeah. It was like right at his height. He had what are those yacht? He had like a yacht that was all Versace'd out. Like he just had so much stuff, dude. I remember watching that whole story about all of that. But the reason why I think that Tupac probably isn't with us anymore is because he really was like raging against the machine, like actually, and they actually put him in prison for it.
Well, they
So,
thought
like,
they
they-
could control him, but they couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't, and so they put him in prison to hopefully teach him his lesson, and that didn't do it either. And so, usually they don't do the whole prison route, and I think that he probably came back and was like, all right, I've learned my lesson, I'll do better. We've kind of seen a little bit of that with Shia LaBeouf, right? Like Shia LaBeouf has kind of raged against the machine a little bit and then kind of fallen out of the public eye and then come back, so he's obviously like kissed the ring again.
Came back with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rocked the blonde hair. Yeah.
Yeah, came back and kissed the ring, and so now he's back. But you can tell, dude, like he's like since he's been back, like in the interviews that I've seen, like he's just dead inside now.
He's not that fiery, spicy.
Nah, that
anymore.
spark is gone, man. He's
Dang.
like,
The guy they shocked
LaBeouf,
it. They shocked
if you
him
ever
out.
watch this,
They shocked
call
it out
me.
of him.
We'll be.
we
I'll
love
get the
you,
demons
Shy.
out you, bro.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
pray
telling
for
you, these guys get MK Ultra, and as we were talking about last week about how you have guys like Michael Jackson and Prince, they can't go rogue. I mean, they can't go rogue, but so much because they cannot afford to lose them because they're so influential. And you think about it, that at the height of Tupac in his thug life, if he walked away and said it's trash, oh man, you imagine like how much impact that would have on people, right? So they can't have that. So they make him a martyr to that thug life, and then they'll still continue to profit off him long after he's dead, and they continue to do so. So,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the estate is worth so much, dude. They'll do whatever they got to do to keep it going.
I was gonna say you got to do it quietly and boldly. Like you got to be like, not say a word, get on stage, and then publicly denounce everything.
I don't think it works like that. I think that's the thing. It's like that's the selling of one's soul, is that they made the deal to get in bed with the devil. And don't be surprised when the devil stabs you in your back at some point.
Yeah,
because I
their
think
life
that-
is forfeit at that point.
Oh, yeah.
They've
Yeah.
just got to decide what kind of mark they're going to leave before they forfeit their life, I think.
And it's not
you
only
know?
necessarily your own life, because I think that's the whole thing with secret societies is the fact that they know your family, they know your kids, they know your
Yeah.
mom, they know everybody who's involved with you. So it's like, okay, you're tough. You're not scared of me. I'm going to make sure you're scared that you're going to lose something. There's something
Sure.
that you don't want to lose in this life.
We'll keep you alive. We'll take out your wife. We'll take out your daughters.
Yeah,
We'll
you
take
know,
out
yeah.
your-
So that's the kind of thing. So if they say, "I'll do whatever," it's like, yeah, but it's at that point, it's too late when you've kind of got in bed with them. You're theirs. You know, like I said, I think that's your soul that they've.
Y'all
got
remember the Kate
control
Spade
of.
thing? The purse girl?
I've heard the name. Yeah, I'm.
Well, she
aware
did
of
more
it.
than purses. So Kate Spade, I don't remember exactly how it went down, but she was suicided, and it was the classic, like the way that they found her dead and all of that kind of stuff. And then the very next day after she died, her husband was filmed leaving the house and running around all of LA wearing a mouse mask from the rescuers. He left his house wearing a mouse mask all day long.
And what do you think that
basically-
meant?
Well, I think that was his way of kissing the ring. That was his way of saying, like, you don't have to worry about me. Like, my mouth is shut. I'm not I'm willing to bet it was I don't know if he was involved in what happened with his wife, but I think that what probably happened was she didn't want to play ball anymore. She didn't want to play the game anymore. And so they took her out, and his way of basically saying, like, you know, I'll comply. Like, you guys don't have to worry about me. It was like, okay, we'll prove it. And then that was the ritual, was him wearing that rat mask. Or the
Yeah,
mouse
I
mask
was
or
almost
whatever.
thinking like that. Yeah, was it a mouse or was it a rat? Was it a rat because he?
But it was obviously
he-
some kind
he-
of humiliation
he
thing.
snitched.
Yeah, he snitched, and that's why they killed her. He snitched on something.
Yeah, and that could have been it too. Is he could have snitched, and he could have gotten her killed, and so he had to wear that, you know, as
Yeah,
a
humiliation ritual
and-
to say that what you did and.
But it's like, if you go back, there's probably so many stories, dude. That like, there's such a vast amount of content that can be made right there if you go back in time, knowing what we know now, and look at all of the weird freaking stuff that has happened in the
Very
public eye with-
suspicious deaths.
Yeah, dude, and then like the things that happened in the following days afterwards.
Mm. All right, let's switch gears. I want to talk about the thing you teased earlier about the new Sora technology.
These Sora 2 videos that are coming out have made me realize that there's a high likely chance that you and I have been getting fooled for decades with videos that we believe to have been truthful that were just AI generated. Well, no, that technology just came out. No. If you and I have access to technology and can prompt a video like that and make it real, just imagine what they have had for decades. Oh, they wouldn't do that. They absolutely fucking would.
I couldn't agree with him more. I was just having that conversation earlier. I bet we've been watching AI videos since the 70s and 80s.
I mean,
Maybe
I
even
wouldn't doubt
longer.
it. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Yeah, I mean, yeah, what he said, 1,000% true, is that this AI technology that we're all playing with and have access to right now is old. I
don't
mean,
think
And there's
so.
a reason. There's a reason why it was introduced
I don't
now.
think so.
you don't think so,
No.
Brian?
think
There's
so at
no
all.
there's no way that this kind of crazy
No, bro,
technology
it
is
was
just
a
given to the
ritual.
public.
It was a ritual. Every time we have a technological jump in society, there is a mass casualty that preludes that. And that's what this is. So I think this was given to them by demonic forces after making these sacrifices. So I don't think this has been around.
Yeah, but the real question would be that. So why would they give it to the public?
Why would it need to be around? Like,
Well, why would they need to give it to the public though?
Yeah, because they want to because they knew the information was going to start coming out because the internet got so big, and they're like, okay, sacrifice the demon. We've got the technology. Maybe they're holding it. I don't know, but they're like, build it, and now let's release it because we want distortion and disinformation to be available to everybody, so we can create enough space of chaos that we can govern. Like,
Not
out
only-
of chaos, order out of chaos. That's what they believe.
Not only do I not think that that's true, but I think that what we're experiencing has happened before the fall of every single society. I think that every single empire that's fallen has gone through all of these same steps and has had all of the same technology. I
think that they've had AI
been
back in the day?
Absolutely, I do. Nothing can convince me otherwise. I'm not going to sit here and say I know for a fact 100%, but I'm going to say that I believe that yes, I'm going to say that they've had all the technology before, because none of it's new, dude. It's all fallen tech. Everything electronic is fallen tech. All of it. Every single ounce of it.
I wouldn't say fallen. It's bought for by fallen angels, though. It's paid for.
But it's all fallen wisdom. It's all wisdom from the fallen. It's all knowledge.
Yeah, but that's the payment we've been making over and over. It's the same reason where the Aztecs got their perfect calendar. They sacrificed to the demons with the stuff. That's where they got their terra preta. That's like every historical place where there was human sacrifice going on, you would see technological advancements. And so you're like, that's historically the pattern. You sacrifice the humans, technology booms. Sacrifice the humans, technology booms. They're doing this and getting ritual practices after making offerings. They're getting dreams
I don't doubt
and visions.
But I don't doubt that. It's just not the first time all that's happened.
Bro, where did the AI come from? Where did the AI come from?
What do you mean? It's
Where does
always
the AI
been
come
here.
from right now. Right now?
It's always been here. It's demonic.
Okay, but where is it?
In nature.
Where did it come from right now?
You guys are talking past each other because you're saying where it's come from, and Aaron's saying
Today.
that it came from demonic entities. You're saying that it came from demonic entities. The only thing we're saying is that we're saying that
when it came
this
from.
technology is likely older
Yeah,
than they tell us it is.
I don't believe
So
we're at some
therefore,
precipice where like we're at the pinnacle of technology. Like I don't think that's true. I think it recycles. I think there's a pinnacle and then there's destruction. I think that this pinnacle has happened many times before. They've found hard drives at the bottom of the ocean floor. Hard drives, dude, that are like centuries old. Literally disk hard drives that are petrified. Like this isn't the first time. There's been phones before.
Are you
There's
referring
been
to the Antikythera
monitors
mechanism?
before. Sure, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that this is just like the Fibonacci sequence. Like I think that this is the pattern. I think right before the fall of civilization, in every single civilization that falls, they're given access to all of this kind of tech. And I think that the reason we're getting access to this tech right now at this current moment is because they need the line to be blurred. They need the line to be blurred between what's real and what's not. Because, if anybody gets their hands on anything, footage that's crazy, whether it's demonic activity, whether it's celebrities doing horrific things, they can officially, as of right now, say that's AI.
That's one possible way that now you will really not be able to believe anything you see on your phone anymore.
But I think everything cycles, dude, right before society falls, or every single society. I really
we
do.
did videos a long time, several months ago. We talked about those automatons that are supposedly from the 1700s.
Yeah, those are pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about that even in Greek mythology, there's crazy robots and stuff. And it's a kind of a crazy idea for a ancient society to be talking about robots in their mythologies. Because if, again, we believe in the ancient angels research, we believe that their gods were real, the giants were real, the demigods were real. So why would we doubt that the robot things that they wrote about in their mythologies are not real? So that means they had computer technology way back in the day. And then even if you think about like in even how they show you like in medieval times and stuff like that with like through movies like Snow White, and you have the black mirrors, the scrying mirrors, and is that really much different than this? It could be. It's all at the end of the day. It's the same, but it might be a different kind of source for the power. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something.
Well, it's a new version, right? So like we might be on like the 7th iteration of all of that. But yeah, it's I don't know how many iterations there's been, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if I think that what happens is they release the same technology, they release it to society, they might change a few things, right? And if like you go with that, like that would mean that like popular brands, for instance, I'm telling you, dude, everything in me feels like everything's been repeated in cycles before. Like there's been a Pepsi before, a Coca-Cola before, although it might have been called a different brand, right? There's been like the pop bands before. They might have been called something else, but the songs probably sounded similar, or they were literally exactly the same, being sung by different artists. Like, I think everything is recycled, dude. And how would we know otherwise?
There's nothing new under the sun.
And I believe that it's all recycled. I think all of this stuff has happened before. And
well, that's biblical. Like I said, that's what Solomon says in Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Oh, you think that's new? No, I'm telling you that's been before. It'll be again.
In Greek mythology, there was a bronze something like an automaton or whatever. I said if you watch that show, the Blood of Zeus, Zeus creates these robots to protect certain things. Mm-hmm. There is like, it is interesting to think about that. I think this technology is witchcraft, and I think that technology itself is the. This is why the dudes are what are they called, the guys that wear the little funny hats out in the middle of nowhere and they don't believe in electricity, the pilgrim looking people. What are they called?
Amish.
Yeah. This is what the Amish believe. What they believe, bro. They believe that electricity is Elohim. It's evil, and because it's technology. You know, it's.
I think that they've got it pretty right.
I know. I kind of agree with them actually too. But I think this is just slow integrated. I think this was witchcraft. This is what it was. It was technology created by the fallen angels. They had it for themselves, but I don't think it was given to all humanity. I think maybe it was reserved like it is now, though.
Right. That's what we're saying. That's what we were saying is that if this technology we're seeing today, it's really hard for me to believe that as soon as they created this update on this new Sora app, that, okay, they're giving it to the public first. Like, you don't think 3-letter agencies had access to this before we did?
No. I don't.
Well, and that's what
I don't think that. I don't think that at all.
Have you ever seen a James Bond movie?
I've seen a James Bond movie.
They've been telling us for years
headquarters
that they've got MI6, Mossad, CIA. They've got this stuff. Now let's see an example of this so people know what we're even talking about.
Brian, of course I remember Brian. He and I shared some very, beautiful moments together.
Brian. What do you and Bob Ross have to do with each other?
Play the other ones, JT. You play the other one.
No, I'm not going to play the one that I'm involved in. I will play this one. This is pretty interesting. So yeah, so that technology, again, that's a pretty convincing Bob Ross. It sounds just like him, looks just like him, and you could imagine if it was, close your eyes and imagine security footage of somebody doing something horrible at some kind of traffic stop or something at night. And how convincing could they make it look like any person, including yourself, being arrested by the police and doing horrible things?
But what's the advantage of it? That actually happens.
What do you mean, what's the advantage of that? You can't imagine how that could be used for evil?
Blackmail?
No, yeah, back in the day, sure. But like back now, yeah. But back in the day, it didn't matter. People did enough evil stuff as it was. It was just like...
No, but the point is like, let's just say, Charlie Kirk thing. Tyler Robinson, I think that we all agree, even the people who don't think he's dead, they don't believe that Tyler Robinson killed anyone.
Yeah.
let's just say they released a Sora video, but a better one because they've got better version of that app than we do. And they say, here he is, walking out of the building with the gun and everything, going into the woods, something, you know, they made like
done it yet. They should do it because that's
what I'm saying is
help
what
them.
I'm saying is they could absolutely do that, especially if imagine if it was like
a ring.
Do it.
They left us the crappiest
They don't need
stuff.
to.
Well,
they don't need to.
Well,
they've got enough people believing them.
The point is, what if it was like a Ring doorbell cam? Like, what
Right.
could they fake with that? They could do they could make it look like anybody.
For sure.
And you would definitely not be able to tell the difference between a real doorbell cam versus, or a dash cam. I'm just saying, like, they could do that. So yeah, this is interesting. So with that kind of idea, it can be used for good, because Aaron did actually make a pretty cool video too.
Stand firm! Keep moving! The path is open! After them! Do not let them escape! Now! Let the sea return!
Now, Aaron, explain to people how long that took you to make a video like that.
I literally just typed in a prompt. That's it. I typed in a prompt and I hit enter. And about 2 minutes later, I was given that video.
What did you type in?
Did you
I
say
can tell you
Brian
exactly
with a staff?
What I typed in was in Demon Hunter anime style with multiple cutscenes, show the story of Moses, starting with him parting the Red Sea and ending with it collapsing on the Egyptians.
And so 2 minutes later, you get that.
That's it. That's all I wrote. Like, you guys could tell me something right now and I can put it in. And then, like, we can forget about it, and then in a few minutes, I can play it for you and show you guys, like, whatever you want me to write in. Like, it's insane. But that's it.
That is insane. I mean, that's insane how quickly they can come up with something like that. And because I know a lot of us who, especially making content, messing with the early versions of this stuff, just trying to create one picture.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
It was such a chore to create good AI art. And now you can just do that, and you can create... Yeah, I mean, imagine if you made that into a 30-minute, like, cartoon.
Yeah,
it'd be totally legit.
Absolutely. When they start allowing you the ability to add start frames and end frames, even if they just add start frames, that'll change everything. Because now you can take your 10-minute or your 10-second, because you can only do 10 seconds at a time.
They have
now
that
you can take
in Midjourney. You can do start frames and end frames.
No, they'd have that in a lot of AIs, but not in Sora. So, like, with Sora, like, if they add that in Sora, then you'll be able to do, like, what I just showed you and make full-blown animes. Like, whatever story you want to tell. And you can have consistent character reference, consistent imagery, and you could tell a whole story, and it'll never... Yeah, it's insane.
Well, one day, hopefully, we'll use that for good.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe we'll create Ancient Angels, the movie.
The anime.
In storybook form. Hey, now I want to switch gears. So, you know, everybody on the show, maybe not everybody on the show, but myself specifically, I love the toy things. And so this is a little bit of toys, and it might be AI. I'm not actually sure. Maybe you guys will have to let me know if this is AI or not.
Diddy party, Diddy party, Diddy party. It's the Diddy Party Playset Mansion with real baby oil fountains, VIP celebrity dolls, and doors that actually lock. What's behind the locked door?
Introducing the Jeffrey's Getaway Island Resort Playset. The luxury villa, sparkling pool, and sleek private jet where the biggest names come to unwind.
Wow, it's got a jet.
And you decide who flies home and who stays behind. Load them up, shut the roof, and roll down the runway.
Bye-bye.
Each set comes with 3 high-profile...
The Bohemian Grove Camp Out Playset.
Push the flame. Whoa, it really lights up.
And the owl's eyes glow. Gather the rope figures, seat the counselor, and let the secret ceremony begin. With towering redwoods, a giant owl, and glowing ritual fire, the night is yours to control. The Princess Diana Car Chase Tunnel Playset.
Hit the flash button.
Paparazzi cameras light up the chase.
Whoa, it can't drive straight. Because the queen cut the brakes. Silly Lizzie.
Swerve through the Paris Tunnel and smash the getaway barrier again and again. Bam! Jim Jones Jungle School Playset. With wooden benches, a real pouring Kool-Aid stand, and sermon...
Introducing Harv's Couch Playset, the Hollywood office where big dreams get negotiated.
He likes your look. Want to read for the new movie? Okay.
With real locking door, soft touch couch, and 3 hopeful actress dolls.
Is this how you get famous? If you play along...
Push the career boost button.
That is crazy, dude.
So disturbing.
He crashed into the barriers again and again.
Oh, the queen cut the brakes.
That's so crazy, dude. Oh, man.
Yeah, actually, I think now that in retrospect, I think that might have been AI.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
maybe.
that's safe to say.
I think it might have been AI.
What's behind the door?
That Bohemian Grove playset looked pretty lit. I gotta be
literally.
honest.
It's little
You can
action
control
fire.
the night.
See, this can be used for good.
I don't know if you'd call
Point
that
is-
good, JT.
Well, they're kind of exposing truth through some satire, so
Sure, okay, I guess.
to just say you could use it in worse ways. Like
I could see both sides of it. They're also probably going, dude, look how normalized we've got everybody with all of the crap we've been doing.
I know, for reals, bro.
That's the part that's terrifying. Is that we can just laugh about it now, and it's like it's so common, everyone knows about it, but there's nothing they can do. Like what's anyone gonna do? The only thing we can do is pray.
I guess that's the thing, that it's just this show. It's just me. It's you guys. I mean, I would say that even we just on Brian's channel, we did a 9/11 special over on his live stream. And I know that it's not something you should laugh about, but I think that we do, just because it's a situation where you laugh so you don't cry. Because
Yeah,
I guess it's so absurd, some of the stuff that we once believed and the stuff that we're supposed to continue to believe, that we can't help but laugh about it, because it's just like, it's so silly. But yeah, obviously there's some real dark play sets. I mean, because it's like every bit of that came from some kind of place of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And to see it put in that way, I mean, I think that is kind of like the idea, and that's what maybe take the demon aspect out of like the court jester. It's like you do these satires because it's like everybody knows, and it's funny because it's not really something we should be talking about, or we're not really allowed to talk about, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, inappropriate things are funny sometimes. It's just the truth.
Well, no, obviously, yeah. There's that Bob Ross JT video that the public's not going to see.
No, that one has been scrubbed from the internet. That's not funny. That's not funny. All right, let's switch gears. I thought this was really interesting. I think Brian will enjoy this one. Disney, another Disney video.
Eric was never really in love with Ariel. The Little Mermaid makes it look like a love story, but truth is, it was all manipulation. Right at the beginning, the sailors on the ship aren't just singing for fun. They're warning each other. If you ever hear a mermaid sing, you'll fall under her spell. From the start, the movie shows us the voice of a mermaid isn't just beautiful, it's dangerous. When Ariel saves Eric from the shipwreck, she sings to him. And instantly, he's hooked. But notice this, he never talks about Ariel herself. He only talks about the mysterious voice he heard. Eric isn't in love with her. He's straight up obsessed by the spell. And this theory gets even darker when Ursula steals Ariel's voice and disguises herself as human. The moment she sings just once, Eric forgets about Ariel completely. And out of nowhere, he's ready to marry another girl. That's not love, that's straight up mind control. Meanwhile, Ariel truly believes she's living her big fairy tale romance. But in reality, she's fooling herself. She gives up her family, her life in the ocean, and even her own voice, all for the first man she ever saw, a man who was never really in love with her, just trapped in a curse. So, if you see it this way, the movie stops being a cute fairy tale and turns into a tragedy. Ariel didn't win Eric's heart. He was just stuck under the spell of a mermaid's voice.
Yep, 100%. And it's so disturbing.
So she's a siren hoe, just chasing after. That actually puts such a dark spin on the whole thing, dude. But like,
There are two
where's the
sirens
lie?
after Eric. Poor Eric.
Where is the lie, dude? That's crazy. That reminds me of the theory of Peter Pan also.
Mhm.
How Hook is
Yeah.
the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I talk about Peter Pan a lot. We do, like, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, but let's specifically stick on this one for a second, because I would say that when I saw that video, I was kind of like, oh, duh, but I didn't really ever think of it like that.
Bro, he's literally like under a spell the whole time.
I guess I didn't
makes
really
so
think
much
about
sense.
the siren connection of the sirens. What they did in the mythologies
Mhm.
is that the sailors would hear the song from the sirens, and they would lure the ships to crash into rocks, and they would all die.
Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, so that story was that literally he was spellbound by the voice of a siren. I was like, oh man, I can't believe I never thought about it like that.
But it
I
makes
guess 'cause I
perfect
hadn't seen
sense.
the movie in a long time. But yeah, it's 100%. That he quickly found a new girl who had a different voice because it was another siren. It was Ursula.
They made a whole name for themselves, making
making her good.
Making the demonic realm the hero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't thought about the Little Mermaid in a very long time.
You don't think about it every day when you grab a fork, bro. Every time you get a fork,
me.
Look at this
You got me.
spoon. Isn't it neat?
Wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
I'm taking my headphones out.
I'm not trying to lull you. Don't worry.
Putting you under a spell with the siren.
JT's all...
your siren magic on me.
JT's like...
Yeah, but that's crazy. So yeah, you have the interesting thing too is that in that movie, so it's kind of strange the way, now thinking about it in retrospect, that Ursula gets her to sell her soul, and the deal with the devil came with this twist where she took her voice, and so the voice is really what was alluring Eric. So without her voice, she wasn't going to be able to keep him under her spell. Whoa.
Creepy.
That is crazy.
Dude, I'm
because
gonna
that makes
rewatch
more
it.
sense now why she took her voice from her.
I'm legitimately gonna rewatch it, and watch it with that context. Like that's so earth shattering.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, could just think about it, because why of all things would she have taken her voice if it's not what we just saw in that video?
Yeah.
Because she would not be able to control him without her magic song.
MK Ultra.
That's
insane,
wild.
Dude.
That is wild, man. I was like, dang, these stories, these Disney stories. And again, that's not necessarily just a Disney story. I want to say that was Hans Christian Andersen. And we talked about that's really interesting.
It ends worse totally in the real tale.
In the real book. But you know what? That is what this story was meant to be, is what Hans Christian Andersen, whether it was a good story or not, but it was a tragedy, because this was not something that was supposed to be looked at as a good love story. Because for one, she's just like a chimera, right? Is that a chimera? Or she's a chimera because she's half fish, half woman.
Yeah, it would be chimera.
Yeah, all demon. But I mean, like, it goes hand in hand, though, with the Marine Kingdom, right?
Yes.
Which I'm sure Brian knows a lot about. But it goes hand in hand with the whole Marine Kingdom and the theory that, like, the whole demonic realm and the abyss is in the ocean. Which also goes hand in hand.
That's where demons are.
Yes. Like, all of it.
When you watch, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean movie with that kind of context, that Davy Jones and Davy Jones' locker is literally hell. We've talked about that, and how that kind of subtext makes a lot more sense, that all these demons are on the high seas.
Well, and the theory too, like the mythological, like one of the theories with some of the mythological creatures like the Krakens, is that those are actually the decapitated skulls of Titans.
Or it could be like the Leviathan.
Right. But like if you go to like the Kraken specifically, if you think about it being the head of a Titan that was chopped off, or the head of a giant that was chopped off and fell into the ocean, and then it was taken over by demonic entities because it was flesh, right? Like it was flesh. It was already a hybrid. It was already a demonic being. And so then it gets taken over by some other kind of demonic entity, and then it sprouts its tentacles and does its whole like there's so much we don't know, dude. There's so much we don't know about all of that stuff, but man, I'm still tripping over that.
And that's why they call them crackheads.
Kraken heads. Yeah, there was another thing was I was telling you guys about that show, The Blood of Zeus. So in that story, you know, obviously it borrows from Greek mythology. It's not like straight up Greek mythology. But so the Titans are eventually defeated by Zeus and, you know, the Olympians. And then eventually they have to fight all these primordial monsters, and they're the giants. So they got to find all these giant monsters. And at one point, so they kill some of these giants, but their flesh kind of still stays. and one of the characters is a man, and Hades influences him to eat of the flesh of the old decaying monster, giant monster, and he literally becomes a demon at that point when he starts eating from the flesh of that monster. I want to say that
This is
the
in the
character's
cartoon?
name, yeah, in that Blood of Zeus, and the character's name is, get this, Brian, Seraphim.
Of course.
Seraphim, fiery
Seraphim
ones,
angel.
fiery serpents, reptilians, Brian.
Dude, there's a lot of. Have you guys seen Attack on Titan?
Yeah, I've seen some of it.
What is that about?
It's an anime
Well,
that's literally straight up from ripping off of the story of the Nephilim in the Bible. Do you
Literally,
know?
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows there's live action movies that they made, but then there's a whole animated series they made that has like 20 something seasons. Maybe not that many. Maybe it was only 10 something. I think I'm getting that confused with One Piece. But
The original Titan actually eats from an apple from a tree that becomes the original Titan, by the way.
and these Titans, it's actually like the way that they make it, especially in the live action movies. Like they actually did a phenomenal job. They look so hideous and disgusting. But there's this village that lives behind these giant walls, and they've lived there for decades. The way that it starts, and they're just told stories about these Titans that live on the other side of the wall, and their ancestors built this giant place for them to live, and they've been safe there for all these years. And all of a sudden, one of them approaches the wall, cracks through the wall, and comes in and just starts swooping them up, dude, by the handful, and just like
eating people.
It's crazy.
The Great Wall of China, maybe.
Who knows, man? There's a lot of symbolism in it. There's a lot. You should watch it.
Or is it the Ice Wall?
No, it's the Great Wall of China. It's very disturbing, and it's very yeah. It's like a man-made giant wall.
It sounds like something I would like a lot.
You would like it. If you want, like, instead of watching the whole animated series, which you might want to watch later, you could start with the live action movies because they pretty much tell the whole story in like 2 movies, maybe 3. I don't know. I'm not the hugest fan of the lore, but I know enough to tell you what I just told you.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. Okay, I got a few more videos. Check this out. I thought this was kind of a interesting one because me and Aaron are pretty close to the same age. Brian's a little bit younger, but you're gonna get the premise, Brian.
What happened in the year 2000? There has not been a decade since the year 2000. You can picture the 90s fashion, hear 90s music, 80s fashion, 80s music, 70s fashion, 70s music, 60s, and so on, all the way back. But since then, it's all the same. There's no, I mean, even like radio stations, they're playing the hits of the 80s, 90s, and today. Today, that's like 26 years. We don't have decades anymore. There has not been a decade since the year 2000.
That's how you know the jig is almost up, man. They've recycled everything there is to recycle.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, it's funny because I remember.
Well, there is kind of a decade now. It's just really gay.
Well, I guess the thing is like that. What he said made sense. Is like that. Think of the songs of the 2010s, and I would have a really hard time, like, being able to frame whatever that musical genre would be, and what would be the clothing style that people wear. I think it's funny for me because
look at this photograph.
It says Nickelback,
bro.
Okay,
the 2025s. There's a style that came in the 2020s. It's called,
but it'll be forgotten.
It's called the satanic style, bro. And it's like, and I think the 2010s was probably the gay style. So it probably was like gay 2010. Everything was gay, and then 2020s now everything's satanic.
Well, you know, just think about that video we showed where Brian was exposed as the people who were trying to lead the raid on Area 51. That video, yep. I want to say that, what year was that? Was that 2013 or something like that? In that range?
For the FBI?
Yeah,
failed at finding you.
Whatever style they had in Bakersfield back then is exactly the same style that there is today.
It's exactly the same style because of me.
And Brian cannot deny that because that guy dressed just like Brian does right now.
I'll never forget when he showed us that in real time. I was like, wait a minute.
What I'm trying to say is that I know that for years, just because I live in a surf town, I used to always shop at like the surf shop. And you know, you kind of just trying to stay a little bit current. So I figured, like, obviously this is what the kids are still wearing. So I'm going in there wearing the surf stuff. And I don't know what year flannels came back, maybe back in during the grunge era. And ever since then, the style has not changed. It's like, so
yeah, flannels never stopped, man.
Well, but they weren't cool before grunge. Were they?
That's true.
So
I wouldn't say cool, but popular. They weren't trendy.
But I mean, there was a certain time where it'd be like, I would go in, and of course, like there was a time where I remember going to shop for clothes, and this is the new style.
Yeah.
You think about like they had like Abercrombie and Fitch, and then eventually maybe people got more preppy. They started wearing like more, I don't know, more sleeker fitting stuff. The cargo shorts era and all that stuff.
Billabong.
Yeah. All that stuff. And then, so eventually it was just like, every time I would go every season, it's the exact same clothes. And then I was thinking, like, I don't even need to buy anything different. I've already got flannels and jeans.
No, it's the same.
I've already got tons of t-shirts.
You go into a surf shop or a skate shop nowadays, and it's literally the same stuff that's been in there for 25 years. You're not wrong.
Well, what if they were like,
absolutely.
What if the Jews were like focused on, consumerism, and then now that they've gotten control of everybody, they just focused on this more spiritual aspect. So that's why you don't see these decade shifts anymore.
They're like, we're not going to pay the designers to come up with new stuff anymore.
Yeah, who cares? The Jews already control everything.
We got them.
Like, let's move to the next thing. We've got we've already got you all hooked. Y'all wore the same clothes, you idiots. Now we're going to just control your minds. That's
yeah. You're going to keep buying that stuff. We don't have to. Why recreate the wheel?
Yeah,
seriously, it's like it's literally the same clothes. I mean, it's the same clothes, it's the same music, all the stuff is the same now.
I mean, like, dude, I remember when mullets were like not cool. When we grew up, there was like, if you had a mullet, you were like shunned. Now, I don't know when it happened, but like
mullets and mustaches.
Mullets are like so popular all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like, I don't even, but I just remember a while ago, mullets were like the dumbest thing ever.
When they were able to get women to want to work so that they could make twice as much money in taxes, it was game over. It was game over from there, dude. It was game over. It's like, no, women's rights, no, that wasn't about women's rights. They only had 50% of the population paying taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now they're recycling like really old bad trends, like the mom jeans and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's nothing new. You're right. I mean, and then you've got some like weird stuff coming out from places like Balenciaga here and there.
They're trying to make the new trends.
They're trying, that's for sure.
Yeah, again, not to really get into the level of like how godly this music was, but I can't remember. I went into like a restaurant. Maybe it was like, it might have been like the Hard Rock. Maybe I was in Vegas and I went to the Hard Rock like just to get something to eat. And they're playing all these old videos from like the 60s and 70s. And I remember just singing like every song they're playing, like they had these, it was almost like MTV, except they're playing all these music videos. And I was like, every song was by like a really good band and all real hit songs. And you just think like that music doesn't even exist anymore.
No, I had a similar epiphany, dude. I was sitting, this was like, I don't know, in the late 2010s, maybe 2018, 2019. But I was sitting there. I don't remember where I was. It was some restaurant. And I heard, I want to hold your hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, how did we go from singing songs about I want to hold your hand to like the most lewd...
3-6 Mafia.
Dude, not just that, but
like
just the most lewd music in exist. Yes, dude.
Like Taylor Swift's new album.
Oh my gosh, dude! It's
he's
so
talking about
bad.
Like that
man.
one girl that sings that.
I know
WAP
what you're
song.
talking about, but I'm just saying, like, just today, like
we're just throwing
Taylor
out
Swift
all
stuff.
the awful, dude. It's but like that, the lyrical content of that versus something like that, and that was like a chart-topping single back in the day.
Well, do you remember remember 2 Live Crew?
No.
Taylor Swift's lyrics are the kind of stuff that would be on a 2 Live Crew record that moms were literally protesting, like in front of like the places they sold records and wherever they were going to have like a concert and stuff.
Completely, like actually,
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, and now these same moms are taking their children to go see Taylor Swift's new music video or new was it movie? I guess it's kind of like the Eras tour. They have a new, I guess the Showgirl whatever record, the making of it or whatever. That's a movie now. And you got moms that are taking their young daughters to watch that crap.
She's a modern day Siren. She's got them all under a spell.
She is a siren for sure. They're
Literally.
look at that plug. Nice plug.
Literally.
No, I mean that's right. I mean it is.
Bring
It's
it all
like
back
it's a
around.
spell. It's a spell for sure.
Dude, I went to one of these places like Yard House. I think it's called Yard House. I don't know. Anyways, they play music videos like from the 90s and whatever all over. Bro, I was watching the music videos and I could not turn my eyes away from it because I'd never seen any of them. Like, cause I never watched this stuff. So like when I was sitting in the yard, I was like watching it and I was like shocked. I watched it and I was like, dude, these are what they were playing in the music. Even the music videos were super terrible. It was like so terrible. What was the one that, bro, Stacy's mom has got it going on, that song? Bro, that music video came up. Oh my gosh, that was so terrible. And I'm like, what? And I'm like in the restaurant, like, this is disturbing. Like, I was like, bro, I feel like, can I turn the TV off, bro? Like, I don't even want this playing around me, bro. This is so disturbing. Like all of them. And I didn't realize how wicked MTV is. Bro, I feel like we are so numb to some of this stuff, but it's been wicked this whole time. It just normalized it to us. And now we don't even recognize it.
That's it. 100%.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not necessarily saying that all the things were good, but it was just that there was a time where there was lots of variety of things. You know, you could really choose what kind of music you wanted to listen to. And I think that's now it's almost like that again, you guys say you don't listen to music anymore. The only thing I listen to is old stuff that I know that I like. You know, like I don't even try to go find new music. It's almost like pointless. It's like, so you kind of keep up with the same people you used to keep up with, but you don't really continue to, there's not a MTV like there used to be. Or like the radio stations where you'd be like, oh, this is on the radio now. Oh, this is that new song. And so back in the day, I think what MTV turned 40 or something like that. And they probably played music videos for like about 10 of those years. And then it ended up being all this cringe reality crap. And then is MTV still a thing?
It's still a network, but no, not like that. I mean, they did what they set out to do.
They evolved and moved.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
They moved. Their purpose was to pervert society and distort it, and they did it, and they moved on.
But the same money that was backing MTV back in the day,
the Jews.
The
M's.
The M's in the MTV, the same money that was being dumped into that is the same money that's being dumped into making songs go viral on TikTok now, and Instagram and YouTube and all of those other. It's the same. They're doing the same things. They're just selective and making backdoor deals with people, and those are the songs that are going viral.
Right.
Backdoor deal.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Like the one bad.
On that note,
the one the Bad Bunny took
all the way back around.
I'm going to play two quick. I'm going to play two quick ones. These ones might bleed over into the uncensored version, but there's probably a lot of uncensored stuff on this podcast because Brian is.
Because I say things.
He's got loose lips on this episode, but I thought this was interesting. This is like one of those situations where you don't expect to find the Jewish conspiracy, but sure enough, it ends up being like you're trying to watch a show with your wife on Netflix, and you're like, okay, this might be something to get my mind off content. Have you guys ever heard of the Tinder Swindler?
No.
No.
Oh, well, this is interesting. Check this out.
Forget about West Elm Caleb. Let's talk about the Tinder Swindler. This man, Simon Levi, conned an estimate of $10 million out of women he met on Tinder. The man attracted women on Tinder and claimed to be the son of Lev Levi, an Israeli diamond tycoon. His Instagram displayed a life of luxury with private planes, designer clothes, and worldwide travel. And when women met with him in person for dates, not only did he look like his picture, but he had the wealth that he was displaying on his social media. On dates, he would fly women around the world on his private jet, give them luxurious gifts. They were picked up by drivers in Rolls Royces. They genuinely believed that he was the son of a diamond tycoon. He would reveal intimate details about his life, and these women would end up falling in love with him. He would then tell these women that he got into some rough dealings with the diamond business and he needed their help. He would then ask them for thousands of dollars, and fully convinced that they know who this man is and that they loved him and they wanted to keep him safe, they sent it over. One woman was scammed out of over $200,000. In 2019, he was sentenced to 15 months in jail for fraud, theft, and forgery, but was released after 5 months for good behavior. And now he's back on Instagram and allegedly back on Tinder.
Oh, man.
So I'm watching this thing on Netflix. And it just so happens that, this guy was named Simon Levi, or Levi, Simon Levi, and he was an Israeli. And then by the end of it, it's like they're connecting this guy with Mossad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm expecting to watch this kind of goofy show about these women who, got duped by a con man. And not saying that wasn't what happened, but it was really kind of bizarre, because it was like he was stealing money from these women, but then he was still living like, it was the kind of money that would, again, if he stole $200,000 for this woman, he's living talk about like the top 1%, flying on private jets, going to the biggest parties, going to the nicest restaurants, doing all the things, islands and everything. It's not the kind of money that would last very long, but it was like this was some kind of secret operation that he was like a male honeypot or something.
Getting information out of all of these women.
It could be that. It could be he could be funding. I'm not necessarily saying maybe honeypot's the wrong word because he's not really trying to.
Yeah, what was the end goal? Like, what do you think? Because they were obviously dumping money into him for something. What was the end goal?
Maybe it's where the money was actually going. Was he having access to some of these things without using their money? But he was literally just funding money back to their Hasbara and all the intel agencies that he worked for in Israel. This guy stole so much money to only get 5 months in jail.
There had to have been specific targets.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like every girl's gonna have $200,000. I've never met a chick on Tinder.
Right.
It's like $200,000 just chilling on Tinder. Why would that be a thing?
Tell us about the girls you have met on Tinder, though.
I'm saying back in the day, bro, my old life.
Oh, gotcha.
Not now. It's like,
well, the point is, it's like if you're somebody like this who's an international person,
dude,
you're swiping.
He's still laughing over there.
You're swiping right a lot in order to attract a certain kind of upper crust type of female that would have money
on Tinder.
And how many different women are involved in stuff like this?
I don't know. I don't think there's any upper crust on Tinder.
No, yeah, I don't know, man.
You wouldn't
That's
think
not
so.
the kind of crust you're gonna find.
That's like a different kind of crust.
You're gonna find a different kind of crust. Yeah, that's probably true. You know what? But I thought this was interesting to kind of bring it back to the kind of realm of the stuff we deal with, and this stuff is. You ever wonder why our FBI seems so inept? Even though everyone said that, it's going to be different under Trump. They got Kash Patel. He's like a real bulldog. He's going to take care of Epstein, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff's going to happen.
They're going to do what they're told. It doesn't matter who.
Is the director of the FBI caught up in an Israeli honeypot operation? All right, here's the context. Quote, some social media users have wondered whether the FBI and the U.S. Justice Department's refusal to release the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients could have something to do with Alexis Wilkins, the 26-year-old girlfriend of 45-year-old FBI Director Kash Patel. This is what people online are pointing to, the fact that Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, works for PragerU, which is a media company that supposedly espouses American values, except for the fact that it is run by a former Israeli military intelligence officer. Now, I did a bunch of digging, and unfortunately, there's actually not a lot of public information to go off of in terms of Alexis Wilkins' background. Now, what I was able to find is that her father worked for Gillette and that her mother was in aerospace and pharmaceuticals. It also says that they lived in England and Switzerland before settling in Fayetteville, Arkansas when she was 9. It also says that she attended Collège du Le Monde International School in Switzerland. Now, interestingly, ChatGPT is calling this a strange biographical gap in that she has no visible friend network or public high school college cohort interviews, which they say is unusual for a public figure in entertainment, and that if a Mossad asset were inserted early in life, these gaps would be precisely where you'd hide alternate history or handler training. Dr. Simon Goddick says that Alexis Wilkins is nearly 20 years younger than Kash and also works for an NGO that's basically Israeli intelligence, that's PragerU that he's referring to, and he says, seriously, why would an attractive young woman date a not-so-attractive Indian American? Classic honeypot. I mean, I don't know. Who are we to really judge what people are attracted to and not attracted to? Anyway, I'm not sure what's true or what's not true, but evidently these are, quote, classic elements used in honeypot operations: soft power, ideological alignment, and sexual emotional entanglement. Let me know what you think.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think, Brian? You think that she liked him because he's got a great personality, he's very handsome?
I think she's part of the upper crust on Tinder. That's
possible.
That's what I think.
That phrase, man.
What do you think?
No, I mean, there's obviously, at the very least, she's attracted to power. She's either his handler or she's attracted to the power and the notoriety that it brings. I just
don't think she's attracted at all, bro. There's no freaking way, bro. That chick is like straight up a spy, 100%. That chick is a spy. And you know what? She probably was like, well, okay, here's my assignment. Okay, I think I can do it. Sure. Okay, I like him. He's cute enough. Like, that's literally the assignment. That's how they do it.
I don't know if it was the last part.
Bro, it's the same. Charlie Kirk's girlfriend was a spy, and she was probably given the assignment of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much going on with Erica Kirk that it's
dude, it's insane.
She's a spy and was literally dropped in to be like, okay, here's your assignment. Make him work. Make this work. And then she probably was like, okay, well, if this is my assignment, okay, I can do this. I can make it work. I like him. Oh, he's cute. Yeah, okay, we'll make it work.
I think that does not enter in the equation. If the honeypot
they have to enter that into the equation.
Thinks the guy's cute.
Well, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, I think.
Have you seen some of this content out there about these women that are? There's like women on social media that are older women that are teaching younger women how to go for the men with money, and looks don't play a factor in it at all. Age doesn't play a factor. Looks don't play a factor. It's 100% about money. Mm-hmm. It's a business arrangement, and that's a different thing. But what I'm saying is, even in that realm, the looks are not a factor whatsoever. So I think I would have to agree with JT in that scenario. And it's like they're given an assignment. All they got to do is make it look real. That's it.
Yeah.
They're told to make it look real, make it feel real, make it seem real, whatever. And if they do a good job, then the guy that's the target is going to think it's real the whole time.
Well, the one thing seems very clear is that
that's very clear.
The cash is compromised.
Sorry.
Because he's certainly compromised because if you look at what he said, if you look at what he said before he was put into the office of FBI director
with his new fancy girlfriend
versus what he's done afterwards and the things he said afterwards, complete 180.
Yeah.
So different. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like this guy doesn't even believe anything that he's even saying.
Nope.
Same with Dan, dude. On one of his last podcasts, he's like, "Don't stop talking about the Epstein files. Yeah. Don't ever stop talking." Yeah. And then flash forward a couple months, he's like, "We got to stop talking about the Epstein files."
Yeah. Don't you think that if something was there that I would expose it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, we don't actually
it's
think
like,
that. We
no,
don't trust you
actually,
at all. We don't trust
what
anybody
I'm thinking
in the government.
is,
why would we trust you?
Right. What I am thinking is you were a plant the whole time, buddy. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's really weird that you're asking me why we wouldn't trust you too. Like that's what liars usually do.
Yeah.
Don't you think I would tell you the truth? No, we don't think that. and I got to end it with this.
With my things that I was telling you this whole time. Were you not convinced enough? Gosh, darn. Should have tried more.
Okay, I got one more video and I got to play this one just because it's time is of the essence with this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Have you guys heard about the Candace bringing the receipts?
Yes. Epic.
Again, if you guys don't believe that Charlie Kirk is really dead, I don't think that that's even matters in this situation because I think regardless, this is important because what we've alleged, Brian's alleged, what I've hinted at, like if, let's just say the thing was real. Again, humor us if you don't think it's real. That is it possible that he started to turn on the Zionists?
Totally did.
And that's where it seems like, at least the evidence that Candace Owens has teased, she's finally delivered on things that might actually give more credibility to that idea.
Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Then somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay? So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell in the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that? There's also a rabbi in that chat. Like, why hasn't anybody made that move to at least say, to vindicate what I have been saying about what he was going through? That registers to me as very suspicious. I'm going to frankly say that it's suspicious to me. It makes me think that in the same way that Charlie was being pressured by money, that you might be now run by that same money, that those same donors might be running you.
Dude, I said it. That's all I gotta say. Like, I do it from day one, bro. Shoot. Like, it's so obvious at this point. Like, I don't know how people don't recognize that it was obvious at this point. Like, you got to be very, very deceived into hopeful believing. A lot of hopeful believing. A lot of hopeful Christians that are like, Israel can't be the bad guy. Well, guess what? They are. Like, that's the truth, and that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's pretty obvious when he said this in a group chat to a rabbi 2 days before, and he gets his neck blown out. Like, bro, that's so disturbing and very, very obvious.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to that other than the fact that, yeah, it goes hand in hand with everything that he was saying leading up to his assassination. I mean, he was literally talking about those exact things. Like, that fully supports all of the conversations he was having. He was very clearly questioning all of that narrative in the weeks leading up to that happening. Like, right down to his last podcast. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so obvious. So whether, I don't know, like, those texts will help push some people over the edge, hopefully. Of course, you've got some people that'll be like, well, you can make up anything these days with AI or tech, which you can, right? You could literally make those in 5 seconds.
I'll let
how
you
did
finish.
you get those texts?
I'll let you finish real quick, though. But Turning Point came out today as the day, Tuesday, what is it, the October 7th, we're recording this. Turning Point actually did a podcast today and confirmed that those text messages were legit.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They did say it's true. Yeah, they did absolutely say it's true.
Well, so then anyone on the fence has got to start separating the land of Israel from the government of Israel, from spiritual Israel Like, people really need to start looking at that and really trying to understand what's actually taking place.
All these pastors need to start repenting. That's what I'm saying right now.
No, for real. Let's pray for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's pray
for
right now
their
in the name of
repentance.
Jesus. Let's just pray right now. Lord God, we just come before you, Father, and we ask that this wake-up call shakes America to the truth, Lord, and that your words and your truth permeate into the people's hearts, Lord. And Father, I ask that you wake people up to this and wake them up to the revelation of who you truly are and who Israel is not. So that way we don't look with these eyes of pride and we think, oh, so-and-so said this and that and blah, blah, blah. Lord, we want to serve you like who you are in love and honesty and truth, and not in pride and perversion and deceit and just acceptance of things because someone said it before. So, Lord God, I ask that you open people's eyes right now, and these pastors are moved to repentance, and they're moved to their eyes being open and the realization of what is happening to our country and what's happening to the world through this deceit and through this deception that's fallen on so many people's eyes. Lord, I ask that you open the Christians' eyes, Father, now more than ever, in the name of Jesus.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Good word.
That was amazing.
But I want to say, yeah, actually, that was great prayer, brother. I want to say that, yes, again, so if there are certain people in the audience that obviously don't think any of this stuff's real, regardless if you think it's real or it's not real, this is important, that kind of thing, because I would say that, yeah, that really does align with everything else that we kind of laid out of all the drips of the things he was saying. It lines up in that being 48 hours before the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
That's insane.
That is the turning point.
Yeah,
bro, that revelation is the turning point.
That's pretty amazing. So it's not just necessarily say that they did it, but I mean, now you do see that he was flipping. I mean, he said emphatically in that email that he can no longer support the Israel agenda. So for him to say that in that kind of way, and then for it to end like that, and yeah, so then Turning Point has to validate that that's legit, because obviously Candace Owens probably has more than this, and she's got all the names on that text thread, so they can't deny it. But I mean, yeah, I think that that's a pretty big deal. I think it's a huge deal, and I just think that we did a podcast a week or so ago with my buddy Josh, and we were kind of saying, like, it's almost like that there's this idea, and we're going to have to play a video about this in future weeks, about this idea that some people who are kind of maybe fundamentalists or different sects in Israel think it's a good thing that all the nations will hate them.
Yeah.
Because they believe it will bring about the end times, and the end times will actually be good for them. Even though in Amos it says, woe to those who desire the day of the Lord, because it's a day of darkness and not light. So anybody who's trying to manifest the day of the Lord, it's not going to be good for you.
No.
You are going to be judged. I think that that's what people, and maybe if I close with anything, is to say, regardless of where your eschatology is, the return of Jesus, as it's been presented by the people with the little hats, again, maybe they don't believe it, but their Messiah arriving in Islam, and even dispensationalists, they kind of view it as a good thing in all these different eschatologies. But if you read what the Alva Discourse says, when Jesus is talking about returning, he's talking about returning for judgment. You don't want that. Like, I think that's the thing. It's like that salvation is here today. You can have salvation. If you're looking for a savior, you can find the savior today.
Yeah, we don't got to wait for him to return.
But
we can access him right now.
But if you want the return, expect fire to come down.
1,000,000%, dude.
That's what I'm really saying. Like, people do not understand. It's like literally, it's like what Jesus said to John and James. You really don't realize what you're asking for.
If they
you do
did,
not know
they
what
wouldn't
spirit
be
you're of, asking for judgment to come.
They wouldn't be hoping and praying and wishing for these things. They wouldn't be making content, getting excited about the possibility of it all. They would be broken at where we're at, and they would be calling everyone to repentance.
They'd have sackcloth on and ashes.
1,000,000%. That's where we're at. Like, we should be calling every single person to repentance.
Yeah.
Not fighting fire with fire, but fighting everything with love and praying for our enemies and praying for everybody that's deceived right now. Everyone. Like,
Amen.
that's what we should be doing.
Amen. Amen.
Guys, I got to roll, but I wanted to say this one last thing. I sent you both in the chat this clip of Kim Clement, who, by the way, is demonically prophesying. And so,
I was going to say, I know you're not going to be telling me to play as good prophecy.
No. But you should check it out. Maybe don't add this into the video, but I wanted to tell you guys real quick that play that video because it's very fascinating. He says a lot of things that are wrong, and when you understand how the prophetic realm works, like they get things wrong and they get things right because they're seeing a glimpse of what the demons can see from the world beyond. And so a lot of times they're getting perspectives of it. But he literally said, I saw the problem with Kim Clement was when he accepted the Israel, he used to say rapture, crapture. He used to literally say, not believe in the rapture at the very beginning when he was and he would prophesy accurately. He used to think the rapture was stupid. He used to think all this was that all the revelation stuff was dumb, and his prophecies were amazing. But when one dude came into his life, and I'll send you the video, and convinced him that Israel was the real Israel, and ever since that dude convinced him of this lie, in the interview, he talks about when the dude came to him and told him that he said a spirit came with him and it showed me the truth. And I'm like, oh shoot. Like I was watching it, bro. But what he said, he goes in this.
And then I saw a 9 and a 2 and a 3.
Bro, dude. Yeah, right. Exactly. But what he says is literally, he says, I saw a deception, a great deception that's coming over the world. And he's like, it's going to be revealed. And I don't know what this deception is, but it's going to be one that he said, and the American people were bitter, very angry. And everybody, the Christians and the normal and non-Christians will all rise up against this deception that will be revealed. And he said, and there was a turning point, it was a turning point I saw. And this is before Turning Point existed, bro. And what is happening is what he said. And it's kind of like, whoa. It's kind of like, that's pretty interesting. Regardless of whether half of the other stuff he said was demonic and totally off, that is pretty fascinating what he says in that clip I sent you. You should, I don't know. I could explain demonic prophecy if you want on another clip when we play it, but.
You know what I just thought about, though? It's almost the end of the day on Tuesday. And I think that the rapture was supposed to be yesterday and today. Where's the shofar, Brian?
We didn't rapture. Oh my gosh.
Where's the shofar, Brian? Forgot you're gonna play the shofar one last time.
The shofar. Oh, I gotta go get it. Let me go get it.
Yeah, we'll wait. It's worth it. Yeah, he sent that Ken Clement video. You haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I immediately wrote him back and said, "This is all I needed to know about." That's the cover of his book, dude.
Yeah, with his satanic eye.
The cover of his first book.
Gosh.
Oh, okay. Here's the rapture. Guys.
Okay,
Ready?
so yeah, so anyway, the rapture, is it going to be now? Brian, blow the shofar.
I don't know. Do you hear the?
For now on, we're just gonna have a rapture update on the show, and we're gonna start it with the shofar.
You got to get one really high res clip of him blowing that and start it with the same clip every
rapture update.
Awesome.
All right, well, guys. On that note, we're gonna close it down today. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. Once again, if you guys want to watch these episodes early and uncensored, please support this podcast on Patreon. Link in the description. Again, if you want to support this podcast and your health at the same time, check out Modern Roots Life. And if you want a t-shirt, Jesus said there'd be haters, and there's often are. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. God bless.
Later.